Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to your garage. So it's been a week. All I can say is it's hunting season. What do you want me to tell you? So anyway guys, I was down at the hunting camp. Didn't fare too well this season. Saw a lot of deer. Just saw one that I thought was a shooter, but he was moving too quick. Really couldn't get a good width on his rack. But anyway, we have more hunting still to do, so it's not a problem. So anyway, we took a little break from the race truck, but we're back at it. So I actually got back the other night, and I've gotten some work done. I kind of decided with the wiring, we needed to just jump into it, so that's what I did. I started kind of wiring the truck already. Basically just starting to run some wires and stuff from our different peripherals, if you will, like our fans. One of those is our starter wire, another one's the one for the ECM, and then over here got the wires. We'll talk about that later, but the blow off valve and our fan, all that stuff, I started just kind of running the wires loose. We will get into that further in a later episode about how we're going to tie that all in. But got our hood stack kind of all tacked up. I think it's going to look pretty gnarly with a little kick on there. Basically just what I had left of exhaust pipe I put on there. And as you can see, it's kind of coming out at an angle. I think that'll be pretty cool. So we got to fully weld that up, but that's not going to be tonight. So for tonight's little adventure, we're going to start doing some more of our plumbing. As you can see here, I have a box of fittings and hose and all kinds of stuff. Guy I work with used to have like a sprint car. He said this stuff's kind of been just sitting in a box since then. So we're going to see what of that we can use. But that is all to get all our plumbing done for the coolant system, which we will be using this All-Star Performance, for the focus, All-Star Performance pump. So we're going to mount this pump in the truck. I made a little bracket real quick so we can weld it on the frame. But then, since we're using the stock radiator, we got to kind of go and get a little crafty. I got our factory low radiator hose, cut it down, and what we're going to end up doing is adapting it to a 12AN, so that way we can go into our pump from our hose. Hopefully it all works out well. Like I've told you guys before, the using the factory radiator, however you say it, is just to try and get the truck to the track. We're going to do something different later on, but this is simple, it's easy. We already got fans, all that kind of stuff. So that's enough talking. Let's get this pump mounted, get everything routed, and move on to our next task. Also, I forgot, a lot of you guys made comments in the comments of the last video about this hold down for our battery. So I did cut that down. It is heat shrunk, but it's cut down to give us some more room to our battery connection. I also heat shrunk our battery connections. You guys are right, it was just a little too close. But we got it cut down, we're looking good, plenty of room. Thanks for that. Let's get to it. So guys, our All-Star Performance pump is installed, our water pump. That just comes from like Jags or Summit. I think I got it from Summit, doesn't matter, there's 6 to 1, half dozen in the other. But our rear line is installed. We didn't have to cut that one at all. What we got from that guy worked for us. The front one we had to shorten up a little bit, and then that's going to our custom little radiator hose adapter. That's in there a good like 3 inches. It's not going anywhere, but I did put a bead of weld on the threads just as a, you know, keep it from coming off like you normally have. So that's in there looking good. All we need is some hose clamps, but we're not going to get to that yet. As for the top radiator connection, we are actually going to take off this billet aluminum block that Freedom provided us, and we're going to put the factory water neck back on and just use the normal hose setup to go to the top here. But like I said, this is all coming off. So the intercooler, the radiator, that's coming off because we have this. This is our power steering pump bracket from D&J Precision Machine. We have to get a special bracket because of our twin pump cover. So originally I was thinking of going to electric over hydraulic steering, changed my mind, so we needed to get a bracket. That bracket setup actually comes with a fitting, so we can remote mount our reservoir for our power steering pump, but it got overlooked. So I called them up. They're sending us another one, or sending us one. It should be here any day now, but we can get our power steering pump mounted, and more importantly, once we get that done, we can figure out our belt routing and get our serpentine belt on, and we will, you know, we're kind of getting, like we talked about before, checking off all the boxes. It's all this little stuff like power steering pump you just don't think about. So anyhow, we'll get this all off, get that mounted, and maybe we can figure out our belt routing. I do have a couple belts around, but I don't know what that looks like yet. So let's get to it and get this stuff off the front of the truck. So guys, I keep talking about when we're working on the truck, you know, all the little stuff we don't expect and unforeseen stuff and all that. Well, we hit an impasse tonight, and it's something that I didn't see coming, and I really hadn't thought about. So I was mounting our belt setup. We got our power steering pump mounted. And I was looking at running the belt, and I was like, we don't have this pulley because we had changed out the plastic one on our AC delete bracket to the metal one, and I don't have the plastic one. We'll have to order a metal one, no big deal. But then I was looking at it, and I'm like, you know, even with that pulley, that's an awful lot of slop. Well, not thinking, we don't have a water pump, and there's no hole here for like an impeller. It's just cast iron. So I really didn't want to run this ugly fan hub. Anyhow, guys, that's going to be our stopping point for the night because of that issue. Also, to put the power steering pump on, I had to take our fuel lines off and rotate our waterman because, as you can see, it is not centered. And when you run it up here, what's it do? It contacts the power steering pump pulley. So we're gonna have to put that upside down. Not that it matters. It's just got like a collar here, and then it's driven by a key. But now our fuel lines we made aren't going to work. So I got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with the belt situation and see what my options are. Because yeah, it's just, this is a lot of hassle. A lot of stuff that I'd never really thought of. I mean, putting the belt on, I figured out I would just put the belt on, and then I was like, I don't have the normal pulleys because we had the twin pump kit. We had Adam Kino's delete kit for the fan hub and all that. Well, when I realized that wasn't going to work, all right, well, we'll just put the fan hub on there. Well, not thinking we don't have a water pump. So anyway, guys, like I said, that's going to do it for tonight. We got our coolant line figured out. We got some issues up front we got to sort out. But we're making progress. I was waiting on some things to come today, and they came. So we're going to try and really get into our wiring. I don't know if we're going to be into the wiring or this belt situation next time, but it'll be something to get us closer to getting to the track. So anyway, guys, get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.